last week comparing decimals, learning place values, talking about decimals that they're smaller than a whole. So before we even get into the lesson today, let's talk about the place values. So when we say a decimal, we don't say decimal point, we say what word? And. We say and. What's the first place value right after the decimal? Andrew.
The whole number, right?
After the decimal.
The place value.
Which one? That is what?
Tenths.
The tenths place. What comes after the tenths place? Christian.
Hundred.
The hundredths place. And what comes after the hundredths? Dominic?
The thousand.
The thousandths. As fourth graders, you only have to know to the thousandths place. Yes? Okay. So far, so good. Now today, we're just talking about the tenths and the hundredths place. So if each of you could grab a bag from the container in the middle of your desk, go ahead and quickly and quietly just kind of pile them up on top of your whiteboard. Make a stack of your maths, make a stack of your strips, and make a stack of your units. Be careful not to drop them. What? Just keep it in the container, that's fine. If you want to put the container on the empty desk, that way it's out of the way, that's fine.
But the camera's gonna see it.
I know that I already said it, but what are those big grids? They're called what? Jasmine? They're called mats. What are our skinny strips? And the little ones?
Units.
Units. Good job. So get those all organized.
Can I keep my units in my bag so I don't lose them?
Of course. Jasmine's keeping her units in her bag, that way she doesn't lose them. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
That's responsible.
I just put mine in a because they're kind of hard to stack.
Yeah, they don't have to be stacked. If you want to pile them, that's fine. Just as long as they're all in the same area, so you can get to them. Alright, I'm going to try and trick you. Take one of Michaela's mats. We're talking about decimals. Is this a decimal?
Yes.
If we have one of these, is this considered a part of a decimal?
Yes.
This was morning work from last week. Remember when you had all of these and you had to figure out what the number was? Is this part of a decimal? Jasmine?
No.
No. Anytime you
It's
see
also
a
a
big, go get a point. Anytime you see a big mat when we're talking about decimals, this is considered a whole. So this is one whole unit. This strip, how many are in this strip? 10. So these strips represent what place value? The tenths. Okay. Now we've got these little units. Well, these are just one. So what place value do these represent when we're talking about decimals? Liz? Not the ones. That would make sense, but not the ones. There is no... Jasmine? It is the hundredths. It's the hundredths because how many of these little ones does it take to make up a mat? It takes up 100 little units to make one whole mat. Okay? And our tenths, how many strips does it take to make up a mat? 10. That's why these are the tenths place.
And then these
Are the whole. Good job. Alright, are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Take a look up at the smart board. Can I have someone try and read the names? If you want to change the names, that's fine. Eris, nice and loud.
Carlos and Imani are having an
Argument.
argument. Carlos says the base 10 pieces below show 4 tenths, and Imani says they show 40 hundredths. Who is right? Who do you think?
How do you know?
How do you
Okay, so on your whiteboard, I'd like you to show the same picture that is on the smart board. So how many strips do you need out?
4.
You just need 4. So lay out 4 strips. What I would like you to do is I would like you to talk with the person sitting across from you. That way you make eye contact and talk. If there's no one across from you, join the group that's next to you. I would like you to talk about who do you agree with. Carlos says that that's 4 tenths. There's 4 tenths there. But Imani says that there's 40 hundredths. The question is, who's right and how do you know? So I would like you to have a conversation with the person across from you as to who is right and why.
They're both
You
right.
got 2 minutes.
They're both right. They're both right. Yeah, they're both. It would be the same
So that means that there's 4 tenths. Carlos says that shows 4 tenths. Do you agree? Okay. Imani says that this is 40 hundredths. Why?
Yeah, but that doesn't really.
I think right now maybe they could record.
She's not even gonna try right now.
Okay.
I think they're both right.
You said 3 and 46 hundredths. This 3 is represented by 3 digits. These are considered our whole numbers. Okay, that's 3. This is in what place value? The tenths place. Well, these are our strips. So you would need 4 of these tenth strips to make the 4. Okay? This is the hundredths. So you would need 6 of these. That would be your 6. So it would be 3 and 46. Okay? So what the question on the board is saying that these 4 strips are 4 tenths. Do you agree with that? How many strips are there? 4. And each strip is a tenth. So that means that there's 4 tenths right there. The other person says that this is actually 40 hundredths. So what do you agree? Do you think one's right? Do you think they're both right? Why? I think I know what you're trying to say. This is, if we put these on top of here, it would take up 4 rows, right? But how many little units are there in all of this? 40. 40 out of 100, because it takes 100 to cover that. Is that what you're trying to get at? I know it's hard to explain. Okay. All right, I've given you plenty of time, way more than 2 minutes. Would someone like to share? The question was, one person said it was 4 tenths, the other person said 40 hundredths. Who is correct? Who do you agree with? Be prepared to tell me why. Jersey, would you like to explain?
They're actually both right.
Okay, can you tell me why?
The little strips, they'll take one and then
Oh, someone's talking in this room, which means our eyes should be on that person and we should be listening.
if you put these on top of that, there's 40 out of 100, and total out of all of the strips, there's 40 out of the little units.
Okay, Jersey is correct. How many of you knew right away that that showed 4 tenths? Everyone's hand should be in the air. You knew that those 4 strips were the tenths. I agree. This shows 4 tenths. What should have, I tried to trick you by saying it's also 40 hundredths. Did I stump any of you?
No.
You all knew that it was both?
You just
I knew it.
Okay, last week we talked about taking away and adding zeros when we need place values. Also, how many little tiny units are on all of these? If we count all of those, how many little tiny units are there, Michaela? There's 40. Well, that's our key. 40. And how many little tiny units does it take to make one whole?
10.
Oh, listen to the question I'm asking. How many little tiny units does it take to make a mat? Lexi, we talked about this. How many of these little ones does it take to make this? 100. So you have 40 right here out of 100. So for those of you that are playing with your materials, you should be focused on this. Your markers should be down. Thank you. I hope that you see that they are the same. What's another word for same? Keyshawn?
Equivalent.
They are equivalent. Good job.
Equivalent.
Okay. Clear your, not clear, but stack those back up or put them back into a pile.
Sure. Mine's already done.
Now is when I try to trick you. Be prepared,
Whoa.
baby.
Whoa, that looks so small.
Yeah, not a lot.
That one's hard.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, yes, I'm glad that we know that fraction. That fraction is 2/10. I'm going to ask you two different things. I'm going to ask you first to please show 2/10. And then I'm going to ask you on your board to please write an equivalent fraction to 2/10. What we did up here will help you with 2/10. So first, please build 2/10. Remember what you built the last time was 4/10. And then pick up your marker and write a fraction that is equivalent to 2/10.
Done.
2/10. This is 2/10. Now, pick up your marker and write a fraction that is equivalent to 2/10. What I wrote up for number 1 is something that we have already done. Share with the person to your right.
I have no idea.
That's fine, it goes in a circle. Share with the person to your right. To your right, to your right, to your right, to your right. Okay. Raise your hand if you showed 2/10. Someone tell me how you represented 2/10. Dominic. 2 strips. Raise your hand or a thumbs up if you showed 2/10 by 2 strips. Okay. Then I asked you to make an equivalent fraction, and this is my fault, I wasn't specific. A lot of you have equivalent fractions. When I said equivalent fraction, I meant equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. So the exact way that we did the first one. Like this, 4/10 is the same as 40 hundredths. So 2/10 would be the same as what, Kristen?
2/10 would be equal to
20 hundredths. I should have been more specific. That's the answer that I was looking for. Okay, leave that there. Oh, what did I do, Liz?
You just added a 0.
I just added a 0. Liz, here you go. Nice job. Thank you. I'll let you come up and write that. All right, leave your pieces there. I'm going to show you another one.
erase it?
Yes, you can erase it.
It would also be 50 100 because if we multiply that by 25.
No, not 50 100. That would be 1/2. 2/10 is not equivalent to 1/2. Okay. I just showed you, now I'm showing you 24 hundredths. Can you build 24 hundredths?
Yes.
So please do that. Maybe the one that you did just before will help you with 24 hundredths.
Got it.
How do you build 20? You don't need that mat. That mat is a whole. We're not talking about any numbers that are whole.
Got it.
Come around to see you build 24. Remember, our mats are big. Those are our whole numbers. We don't want mats on our board. Mats are whole numbers. I want you to build 24. Who can explain to the class how you build 24? Travis.
So I did two
What are those?
strips.
Two strips?
And then I did 4 units. So and then you got